All right, it's now time for raising funds for World Domination, Day 86. Here's the standard intro. In terms of progress on work items, today I actually didn't accomplish particularly much of anything. I exercised a bunch and went for a walk, and I wrote like 2 sentences in my script, and that's about it. Other than that, it's time to continue with development work on the terminal block mining simulation game. So yesterday, I started work on adding some unit tests for the screen layer functions. And today, I'll go through and start adding a bunch more cases. Actually, one of the things I want to do is I may have to add a few extra flags for like compatibility flags, because there's all sorts of weird bugs that you can get in different terminals, and let's make sure it works. All right, that looks like it works. So what I'm going to try, I think one compatibility feature that'll fix potentially a bunch of bugs that won't be on by default. I'll add a flag for it. Is explicitly print spaces over the intended width of the character to be printed. Hey Robert, hope things are well. Hope you've been actively pursuing income from YouTube since your round of video. You're still doing consulting contract work. Mostly been focusing on YouTube related stuff. There isn't. I did get someone I knew from a while ago reached out to me and mentioned some contract work, but it kind of sounded like I have a video on like contractor versus employee. I think that's what it's titled, contractor versus employee, know the difference. And it's basically just like a 9-to-5 job. So it's one of those things where I think if you go into it, you get kind of sucked into it, and then there's no it's basically just like going back into 9-to-5. There's no real time or flexibility for anything outside that. I have a bit of momentum with this, so I'll keep trucking away. Nice, that's a bit closer to what I wanted. Nikola Michkovic says, "Hey man, love your channel. Thanks for the kind words." The Waymans say hello. Hello back to the Waymans. Thanks for stopping by. Bertram Murphy says hello. You're clearly very talented. Thank you. I'm glad somebody notices. I think this might be due to some hard coding of space widths. Should just find a job. I've done that back in the past. Can't give super thanks. Just ordered a new card. No worries. Keep your money and invest it in yourself. That doesn't pay you. What I mean is that appreciates you for your talent. I mean, where exactly do you propose? I have a pretty good exposure to the industry. I know what it's all about. I mean, at this time especially, I really feel bad for anyone working a 9 to 5 in tech. You had invitations to NVIDIA and Amazon, right? Yeah, I did 2 internships at Amazon and 1 internship at NVIDIA. And then a bunch of other internships at other companies. And of course I worked in doing that consulting work. I kind of worked as a contractor within and with a lot of other full-time employees over the years. I'm going to buy a new mouse pad. Excellent. Austin O'Quinn sends $5. Thank you very much. You're clearly very talented, so use it. Sure. That's why I'm working on this block mining simulation game. I think it'll be like Minecraft. I don't know. I guess it depends how you mean that. Aside from YouTube, in a perfect world, you would want to have your own IT company, I'm assuming. Yeah, the original plan was start a business, take some of the supposedly ample software development work, start building some projects. I mean, originally I was thinking, I actually worked at a company called Extreme Labs back in the day, and it was kind of like a consulting company that did like project work they built apps and stuff, and they always had 10 different little app projects going, and they just hired tons and tons of interns, and the interns, just figured out there was kind of minimal training, and I thought the environment, I kind of had that idea in my mind for how I would model a training environment to hire a bunch of interns and get them to pair program, and but the main thing was just finding quality work. The big issue is that there's so much work, there's so much nonsense work that never leads to anything. And compared to any other industry, like if you're an accountant and you go out looking for accounting work, the people who come to you have actual accounting work that can be completed. But if you solicit software development contracts, a lot of people are just mentally ill people that have crazy ideas, and then some of those crazy people actually have a little bit of money, so they might start the project and then it doesn't go their way, and or it's way more expensive than they thought, and is that and everything in between. There's sometimes there's reasonable investment involved, but in hype cycles like this, you'll get people that effectively just want to do a pump and dump, create some AI for XYZ, and then they're not interested in actually building a product. They're mostly interested in just faking the outward signs of success so that they can get acquired and get a bunch of money, which sometimes they can pull that off, and then sometimes you just waste years of your life building a startup that never gets acquired and fails spectacularly. Classic lean startup, only hire interns. I guess that's my experience at a lot of those places. It worked. I was an intern. I worked with my peers were interns from Waterloo, and the co-op program trains you pretty good. When I was an intern at Amazon, at least a couple of people there didn't even know I was an intern. Not really, man. Think of how many bad interfaces there are in the software world. I'm not sure what you mean by then. I can't remember what I was talking about when you wrote not really. Think of how many bad interfaces there are in the software world. AI and people bring in millions of dollars when they have nothing. AI will replace a lot of programmers, though. I tell you, it does do a job better than junior dev. I guess. My frustration is there's so many companies that base their entire operations on software, yet they put minimal effort and money into understanding the software. As soon as they get it working. Yeah, that was a big problem with working on a lot of these companies. Is like the companies, like specifically at Amazon, they would allow you to like make your code work just barely enough so that it functioned to do the thing, but it was like maybe full of bugs, but they would not let you fix the bugs. And then when the bugs trigger, and then you're basically like, so you're always on pusher to deliver fast, and then you're like, okay, I need a bit of time to like make this robust and fix the outstanding issues, but then you have to move on. Too many companies, software and an expertise rather. Too many software companies is an expense rather than an opportunity. Oh, too many companies. Yeah, I think like to people with MBA degrees, they don't really see a lot of value to it. They're just like it's a thing we're dumping money into. Those companies die, yeah, maybe if sometimes they can get acquired. How do you make a CPU? I'm glad you asked that question, because I actually have a video specifically on that topic. I keep getting that question so much, I figured I should make a video about it. No other comments? By the way, Microsoft just laid off 9,000 workers. Yeah, like I was saying, this is like one of the worst times to be in the market for a job or a software dev job. You pay Taiwan a lot of money. I don't have to now. I got my own photo mask. You know what Nintendo does before it makes a video game? What is that? Make a frame minimal interface where they test out whether gameplay dynamics are fun. That sounds like the right approach. Zero investment. They just show UI interfaces that try to emulate their gameplay dynamics. Interesting. I guess that makes sense. That's I guess I'm kind of surprised that they're so minimal, but they they started as like a card game company or something, if I remember correctly. Hayden Anderson says, well. How the hell do you imprint a format with just lights and shadows? Imprint a format with lights and shadows. Oh, is that about in relation to Nicola's comment? What game are you making? I'm making a terminal-based video game where you simulate the process of mining blocks. How long will it take till it comes out? The GitHub is it's already available on GitHub. If you go down in the description, there should be a link. Oh, that's about the photolithography. Yeah, CPU making tutorial. Confused on that part, where you use the lights. So for more information, if you Google search for photolithography, so the simplest way to imagine is if you've ever seen like stencils for like spray paint, people will like write some text in like a piece of cardboard. You cut out, you have a cardboard stencil, and then you just spray paint it, and that's a way of taking the information that's in your stencil and imprinting it onto something. And a photo mask is the exact same thing, only instead of actually putting paint on it, you're shining light through certain areas that it casts a shadow. So and it works like literally the same way as photographic film. So it's just a chemical reaction. You're like drawing on your buddy with a sunburned beach. Yes, exactly. So you could say, chemically speaking, you can do photolithography with anything that's photosensitive. So anything that changes when you shine light or radiation on it, you could do photolithography with, because you just put a mask there, and the parts with the shadows don't react with the light, and then anything that gets hit by light will change chemically. And that's the key to the photolithography. And to do the photolithography, that'll say, that'll change a certain part, and then after you have to put it in like an acid bath, and so the part that was exposed to the light will like dissolve will either dissolve away or not dissolve away. It depends on the chemical. It depends on the chemistry of that step, and there's a lot of different types of chemistry involved. But ultimately, that's what it comes down to: is you're chemically changing some parts and not others, and the way you control where is with the mask. Once all my nipples grow after a lithography test? A lithography test? Like a medical exam or something? Yeah, it sounds like nonsense to me. What's your favorite of these two? Python or C#? I don't know any C#. C# is the greatest language in the world. Is it? That's the first time I've heard that. You still never answered if you could check the president's search history for me. Oh, did I say that in the last stream? I forget. So many random conversations I have. A lot of programmers are quiet, but if you were to ask them, they will rank Python 1, maybe Rust or C# right after. Can you? I would say no. Capybara. Oh yeah, I remember you from last night. I timed you out because you were chatting excessively and irrelevantly. Therefore, I will have to ban you if you continue. Yogurt night, let's go. I think you chatted that before, that you're making yogurt. I'm sorry, King. Forgive me. I can forgive you if you improve your chatting behavior. Just focus, finish your game. It'll never be finished. Code is very clean, by the way, better than some of the other crap I've seen. Oh, thank you. Actually, I think that's one of the first comments I've had praising the code quality. So lots of people hate on my long lines. A lot of the code is like, it's a solo project, so I don't comment it as much as I should. You should tie out. Oh, timeout, Capybara. We can't have trolls ruin us. Robert, you're the best coder to ever exist, my glorious king. Thank you for your very kind words. Redman says, sup Rob? Not too much. Working on some compatibility with, there's a few cases where it doesn't render properly, so I'm gonna maybe add some flags just to, so there's some basic functionality on all terminals. What do you suppose the universe's code is like? I don't know. It would have to have code in order to opine about that. Capybara. That's not nice, telling other people to shut up. The coding better give me $1 million. These are weird comments. Like it's nothing offensive or bannable, but it's just, it doesn't seem like a joke. It's just nonsense. Holy See? Still haven't gotten around to learning that. See, Radman, this is why I have to be authoritarian with keeping the language under control. Otherwise, all these Zoomers will start picking up, and then I have to ban everybody. Roberto, can you make me a mod? Nope. What if we wrote this? Oh, I mean, having the community write the game? Got your game running in my terminal. 1440, 2560. Nice. Yeah, actually the current version is quite slow. The version that's out there now. I'm hoping part of the work I'm doing right now is to fix a bunch of compatibility issues. So hopefully, I don't know if you hopefully it like rendered properly. There's a few terminals where it just doesn't look good. Yeah, it's good to hear that it runs decent. Can I be a mod? I shall hold my truce. No, I may just have to ban both of you. I think Hayden answered. I think you were the other one who was here last night. It's interesting. There seems to be these like troll. There's like pairs of troll groups that come in. in some ways I almost think they're bots, or maybe they're like maybe it's people that like get together in like a Discord group. And they're like, hey, let's all go to this specific person's chat. The universe is software. I don't know. It's a philosophical question that's not particularly interesting to me. Is it possible to run 2 frame buffers in one screen for speed up? I do kind of have like I have a frame. I have like a screen object that I'm using to write things to. So actually, I have like a z-indexed screen. So there's actually 3 layers right now, and I can just arbitrarily add more layers, and then there's a merge operation, and I'm just working on and like so you can like activate, deactivate layers. Like for the help menu, when I open the help menu, that activates and deactivates a layer. Don't know if I was rendering because there was lots of blank and dark space, but I was able to mine mode and stock up. It persisted across the invocations after I play through it a bit more. Yeah, so the let me maybe remove, right now I just have some testing code in here. I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. Don't ban. Wait, Robert. Do you have a headphone dent? Maybe. I should know if there are any visual bugs. I'm using Ghost TTY. Yeah, so if you... so here's an example of what it looks like. This is what it's supposed to look like. Now, if it's bugged, as you move around, sometimes, like the wood character that's here, it'll stay on the screen. So as you're moving around, it's like it'll get glitched, and they don't look like they're kind of like stuck together and stuff sometimes, and you'll get like characters that move across the screen that are obviously not supposed to be there, and it's just a rendering issue due to the fact that emoji characters aren't rendered consistently. And there's a few other like random weird bugs. Some terminals have, like, for example, this character, I think in one terminal it was only rendering as like to the terminal, it only took up one position, but it rendered with 2. And so when I would move around, there would be all these like trailing null characters that would move across the screen. So that's an example of one of the rendering issues. So you know I run Arch, by the way. Nice, Arch. Don't have Discord, I touch grass. That's good that you touch grass. It's just a hypothetical question. But can you code King Von to my basement, please? around Windows 3.1. That's pretty old. You shouldn't update. Do you have a rate limiter on your GitHub? I tried to pull down from after you pushed. On the third attempt, I got permission denied. I don't. Interesting. I don't know. I guess that must be a GitHub thing. On mine, I can't see that gray. I only see black terminal background. Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess maybe gray. Gray might not be supported. You can I guess you can actually just see where. Well, I guess if you yeah, I guess gray is not one of the standard colors, but if you search the project, if you just search the project for that color code where that's used, yeah, it's just used in the map area and in this one place. If you want, you could just change that to something else, like you could change it to blue or something, and then just recompile it. You got way better at Git after last time I tested you. I'm not sure what that means. Gotta be more aware of color blindness. Yeah, there's it's a constrained coding environment, so there's not a. Eventually, I maybe could make it so you could change the color and stuff, but there's too much stuff to implement. Right, that's because the user set their character set with the variable. Yeah, that's another source of compatibility problem. 3.1 was the best OS. I don't know. I think Windows XP was pretty good. Is your game coming out on Xbox? So I got Game Pass. Probably not. What about gray? Actually, it's Gray. There's two different spellings, two different acceptable spellings of gray. Yeah, you can. Just for now, you can switch that to whatever you want. And if you look in the user interface thread state class, there's a list of the constants, so you can use a different one now. Get a retina transplant? That's expensive. Played Syndicate on Win 3.1, Grandma's Basement. The game's operated in DOS mode back in the day. Where do I play the game? Check the link in the description. There's a link to the GitHub. You got a tick? Yeah, ticks are Lyme disease is going around. Well, I think I may have to give you a ban. Capybara. I'm sorry. Capybaras are really interesting animals. They stand up out of water and oranges fall off of their backs. Very interesting animals. Where we have to release console version, which includes simulation of downloading and installing terminal emulator. I mean, there is a version that can run in pure console. Like if you switch, like if you could do Control Alt, F3 or whatever, you can run it. It should still run in that environment. Nope, it's too late. July 25, July 19th. Great move to test bots. I don't know what that means. The ban, you mean? I'm not sure if that would test bots. I mean, everyone accuses people of being bots. They could be bots, but they could also just be like honestly, that behavior is characteristic of humans, in my opinion. I thought you were going to sleep. Nope, I said it was going to ban Capybara. Head on 8B Guy YT. King, guess what's back? Okay, so he's got an alt account. I guess I can just keep banning if necessary. This is not a very productive coding session. Too many chat distractions. Okay, let's make sure this actually works. Great software is tuning out the idiots, making great things. It's hard to write software while interacting with chat. Radman, you're a bot. You've been leading me on this whole time. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to ban Hayden Anderson as well. All right. What's your game about? Genuine question. It's a game where you simulate the process of mining blocks of iron ore. So I boot it up here a second. So you wander around and you spam the M key to mine these blocks. The blocks show up down here in your inventory. So there's wood over there. So if I go down, if I press the X key, now there's some minerals over here. I can spam the M key to mine those, and then they show up in my inventory. Like how we added a smiley. Yeah, I guess I'm not sure why I didn't think about that earlier. I think it makes sense for the character to be an emoji character. X is new tech for me today. Oh, the X key, spacebar and X. To go up is spacebar and down is X. Robert, I've been spying you for a while. I want you to know you're a cutie. Well, thank you. That's very generous of you to say that. Robert, do you have a GF? Nope. Lots of crazies in it. Yeah, I think it's actually just a couple of people, but they have like alt accounts. The internet is very strange. Yeah, it is. It's distracting me from doing useful work. All right, I guess that on 8 Guy YT and Robert Lover. I'm gonna have to probably ban both of you guys again. I assume you're just alt accounts of those other ones I just banned. Bro, you're very talented. I'll reach out to you eventually. You deserve so much better. Well, thank you for the kind words. Maybe chat could be hidden from view for a period of time. I guess technically if I want to focus, I just shut off the stream. Do you have a JLB? Yes, I for tax and payroll remittance purposes, I am legally employed by my business. I've never been banned. Does it just silence you? I'm not sure. I think the only option that I'm not aware of is I can click hide from channel, and so I think it just like shadow bans you, so you can keep posting and it shows up for you, but it never shows up for anyone else. Is there any news in your town lately, Robert? Nope. There is literally zero news. I don't know. I don't even know what that means. First Amendment rights are not protected by corporations, but by government. Yeah, people always misuse that. Imagine trying to be funny like this guy, just landing flat on your face. I mean, some people accuse them of being bots, and they could even be bots. I think it's those two. There's just I think it's two people that come in together. So my guess is that they're probably like meet in some Discord, and they're like, "Hey, let's join this chat and spam weird things," because that's what people do on the internet. Robert, if you had to pick one thing, what part of your code are you most annoyed by? Honestly, the thing that I'm most annoyed by is whatever I'm working on and improving at any given time. I think they're just kids. Yeah, I think so. I think that I can't remember. I think last time they used someone said that they used some like Roblox slang. So if they're talking about Roblox, they're probably kids. It's probably people drinking. Yeah, that's the other thing, is a lot of times unhinged chats from people being in an altered state of mind. How come I've never seen you laugh? I think I've laughed several times on stream. And then some people said, wow, that's the first time I saw you laugh. Food for thought slash vote kick. Is that a command you can do in chat? Vote kick? I'm not familiar with like the mod abilities. Robert, are you a bot? I don't think so. Make your own command. Maybe. I don't kick people that often, so. Can I be a mod? You already asked that. Robert, will you remember me? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I think I'll maybe just go ahead and ban this, or just distracting. It's possible if they have 2 alts, they may have more alts, so we may see more of that. But we'll just keep banning. Oh, they're already back. That 0. Oh, that's the bot account. fist of our soon-to-be maximum leader has been used to crush dissent. The plan for world domination is to inch closer. Yep. One YouTube bot banned at a time. I'm new here. What's this? This is a software development of a terminal-based video game where you simulate the process of mining blocks in the terminal. So here's the game, and you can press the X key to go down a level, and the spacebar to go up. It's pretty cool. My friend told me to get on here. Maybe you know him. His account is Capybara. Oh yes, I'm familiar with that account name. So how long have you known this Capybara fellow? Six, 7 years. Is Capybara a law-abiding citizen? I was able to get PMI game based terminal window started. Couldn't get it to play nice in the invoking terminal. CSI codes are likely next, but probably going to not be fun. Neat. So you're working on a like from scratch game. I think I don't know if it's you who's mentioned that before, but. Capybara is a good guy. I don't know. He's the kind of person that I have to ban occasionally from my chat when he spams the chat and misbehaves. I've tried working on so many games. Projects finding their own spot in the external. And the external never to be run again or completed. Well, at least you're testing the waters, learning some new things. Capybara got banned. Yep, he was misbehaving. Whoever anonymous user is, he's actually annoying. Are you sure about that? What makes you say that? Robert, any tricks on how to get 142k subs? You just gotta follow your heart and believe in yourself. And that's basically it. I'm Mr. Welder, software. I learned Vim. Excellent. How long have you been doing YouTube? I think I started the channel in 2019 or something. they already outing themselves as new alt accounts? Yeah, the reference to Capybara was a pretty big giveaway. I'm sure that one is the one that mentioned Capybara. The other one, HS is probably also the other person, or it could even be one person doing all of them. I assume it's maybe two people. Oh, lots going on. Let's see if our team making nuclear bomb, what would the ingredients be? That's a random question. I'd say just Google it. I hadn't caught up with your terminal game updates, so I'm amused and surprised to see you now have an emoji sprite. Yeah, I'm not sure why I didn't do that before, but it makes sense instead of just having a square, make it more self-explanatory. Why are you guys blaming me? You came in around the same time as Fashem Hava, who's clearly related to the previous offenders. I'm not Capybara, I promise. I'm just his friend. He told me to come on here and troll. Yeah, I suppose it could be even like more people. I assume there's like discords on the internet where people are like, hey, here's this person, go join their chat. Ask the police, they'll give you the ingredients, lists, and tutorials. That's a good idea. I'm not here to troll, I'm interested in this. Well, that's good. Those are called raids. I guess it's not much of a raid if there's only 2 people. There's a whole website dedicated to you. Oh, is there? Where's it at? Being able to set your sprite to emoji of your mood would be fun. Yeah, I was actually thinking about I could have a character selection screen and you get to choose the emoji character. It's on OnlyFans. Okay. Thanks. I've never heard of that website. I'll have to check out what that is because I'm not informed on that. The emoji could get more intense relative to the number of keys pressed per second. Yeah, there's lots of stuff could be done with it. Just downloaded the Blockman game and I'm running it. I can move around, but no tool. Do I need some? Oh, so I guess let me just quit. Well, oh, wrong directory. So if I start, here's a brand new, fresh map. So you can go down and then start mining. Mine some wood and mine some stone. And so the help menu is in here. You can go escape, and that has some instructions on how to use the game. And then to close it, you can do that. And to craft, so right now I think of it, yeah, I have enough to craft a stone pick. You press the C key to craft a pick, but it won't use it unless the arrow is selected on the item. So if you press tab, then you can navigate down to the stone pick, and then press tab again. So the red outline is the selected frame. So now I can mine out to a larger radius. Different emojis provide different buffs. Yeah, there's lots of ways that I could take it. I need to make it like faster and more less bug free before I really think too much about that. What's your favorite language? Good question. I guess I really like Java. Java is a pretty decent language that gets the job done. So that's why I chose it to use it for this project. You better have paid the $1 if you're playing the game. I think a lot of these regulars have super chatted at least once in the past. Wonder how long a Let's Play series could go. I mean, technically, so if I quit on that, so that's like the, oh, got a ban. Yeah, M key lets you mine stuff. I think I scrolled to the bottom. Yeah, 'cause all things considered, that's pretty. It could be worse. They could say worse things. Don't forget to hydrate with this exercise. I got some tea here. Yeah, someone asked about a let's play. So technically, this is the same world. I hadn't really noticed, but I've gone out to coordinate z equals 24,000, actually equals 10,000. So I'm like really far out on this particular map. I've been just running the same world every day for the last, I don't know how many days. I guess what I should probably do is work a bit on unit tests. I'm sorry, Robert says hi. How's it going? What are you making? I'm making a terminal-based video game where you simulate the process of mining blocks. For some reason, my mind is filled with wooden blocks and red blobs around them. I now have a wooden pick. You can, so remember, you can go up and down. So space bar goes up and X goes down. You can only go down if you're inside a cave. So if there's nothing below you. Or if you mine down. So if you mine all the blocks around you, it'll mine a block under you. And the red blocks are probably ore. Robert, you pull all the ladies, right? Yes. That is factually accurate. Can you give us a hot take about tech? There's not enough context to the question. How rich are you from YouTube since you went viral? Average revenue has gone up. So in recent months it's been down, but it's been like I think last month was the lowest. I think it was just over 1,500, but I think for this month it'll probably be a bit more than that. I think it was the peak was 7,000 back around Christmas, and then it's been trending down since then, which is due to multiple factors. Haven't produced as many videos, and I have produced some videos, and then they just have not done as well. And then also it's summer, because everyone's out doing stuff. I quit and restarted, and I still had my inventory. That was nice. It's the same procedurally generated world as before. Yes. Yeah, it uses a fixed seed. Can I call you? Like on the telephone? I'm streaming. I'm busy right now. Is AI hype, you think, or good at coding? I think it's a pretty profound change. It's on my to-do list to actually sit down and like really evaluate it, but I have not had the time. What text editor are you using? I'm using Vim. Can I join the stream? You already have joined the stream. Robert, when are you going to text my little sister back? I've not received any text messages from anyone in the last few days. Your thoughts on Neovim? People have recommended it a lot. I installed it and used it for 2 seconds. Share any thoughts on how you plan to go about your research into it? Oh, on AI. Personally, I really enjoyed many years ago taking Andrew Ng's ML and AI course. I'm sure today there are numerous MOOCs to choose from. I'm probably just going to sit down and the way I'm thinking about AI now is I think the way it could be used is like an AI coding session would be totally different. Like for example, if you sit down in front of a table and you draw a UML diagram, you might do that to think out a problem, and then you would stand up and go like write the code. And those are 2 different tasks. It's like 2 different kind of sessions or interactions. And I kind of think it could make sense to just continue doing a lot of the coding, but then when you need to like generate some new test cases, or I'm probably going to honestly, what I'm probably going to ask it a lot of is like find a piece of code, find an inconsistency in my program, find a bug in my program, find lines that can be deleted. I would think it might even be more useful for not for writing code, but for removing code. Robert, save some ladies for the rest of us. No. Robert, I made this fun terminal Pokemon game when I was younger. Do you want to play it? Did you? I'm skeptical. There's not a lot of terminal games out there. Robert, have me and Hayden made your day? Have me and Hayden made your day? Hayden, I don't know. I don't see anyone with that name in the chat. You could try to get a tenants' right union going in Canada to anticipate renovation shenanigans. Would be good cover for the world domination stuff. Yeah, there's been lots of that stuff that's gone on around here. One sec, I'll put it on GitHub. Excellent. I was listening to a chapter of Cult of the Dead Cow, and I learned that there are tools you can use to discover bugs in software. Just scanning the binary, not even reading the source. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Because technically, I mean, you can, there's tools to get minified code from a binary. And apparently there's apparently large language models are good at unminifying that kind of stuff, which I guess makes sense. Why didn't you ever try to make a SaaS product? Wouldn't it scale better than consulting. That's what I thought. That was kind of my original thing I was going to try and do. The problem is, to make a SaaS product, it takes a lot of time and investment, and the success of a SaaS product, it's only gotten harder and harder to make a SaaS product. Like today, I would not even recommend making a SaaS product, and unless you have massive venture capital funding, and a lot of that venture capital funding I think would go toward the marketing and sales. And if you just take a lot of SaaS products that are out there and just Google them, and then look at their jobs, the list of jobs available, most of the roles are for sales and marketing. It's not necessarily for tech. And I think the people have this mental premise that a lot of these, SaaS software products, the success is about building the software, but I think the actual business success case is more around putting all your time into sales and marketing. And it's only getting more competitive now because AI is kind of lowering the bar for for certain there's probably some existing product out there that presents an AI an API for it, and with AI, I think that the trend is going to be a lot of these SaaS products are probably going to be centralized. It's going to be I think we already kind of are there with Microsoft is just going to have a bundle of software. So Microsoft has their whole Office 365 suite and stuff. And I think it's going to be you pay $9.99 a month to get access to Microsoft's 50 different business software tools. And then I think they'll probably move toward building generic APIs for all these things, and then use some extremely garbage, buggy AI that says what kind of product or service do you want to create today? And they'll probably start off with business analytics tools or something like an OLAP database where you have some interface. You ask it, make me a report. Write the query to come up with a report that does X, Y, Z, and then you'll ask the large language model. It'll give you some SQL, and then you just run that SQL. Or maybe it doesn't even show you the SQL; it just does it. It just comes with a chart, and it's probably full of mistakes and stuff, but people won't care. And so that could be one narrow application, and then the trend will be to probably just try to integrate that with more and more stuff. So the OLAP thing will connect to the marketing thing, and got to build that active users per month to sell out to a buyer. Move on to the next SaaS product. Yeah, that's the model. If you want to be making $60,000 a month or something, you have to get those initial users. And when you're starting out, most likely your initial a few hundred customers are probably going to be acquired at a loss because you don't know how to market. The product has bugs, nobody knows about it, so you're losing money on the first few hundred. But then the next ones, that's where you make all your money. And if you're bootstrapping from zero, that's where it becomes a mathematical impossibility if you don't have venture capital, which is why consulting you don't need to raise any money to do that. And so my idea was to get some money, get some seed money, and then just finance the thing myself, but that never quite materialized. walk in time. Hopefully stream isn't interrupted too much more. Yeah, I think they got tired. I haven't seen as many spam comments in the last few minutes. Do you have Python installed? I think. Injection if block data, which comes from QBlade data, can be controlled by an attacker. Get hex literal does not promptly sanitize or escape the input. This method is currently active. Yeah, that's actually that's one of the I guess critical attack vectors. I don't. That's one of the things I'd have to think about if I release it publicly. So I have. I think by default when I started. So I think with my right now the way it works is it's extremely inefficient. So the block schema has all the block data. I think I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I don't think it's vulnerable to anything at the moment. Yeah, I guess you're right. That's probably a SQL injection. So that'll have to be think it has one. How do people trick others with what's supposed to be an honest graph? I don't know what you mean by that. It says and SQL injection vulnerability. I have lots of typos in my comments. Okay. The get database hex literal method is called with block data. And so it is directly concatenated SQL query. Actually, now that I think about that, hex, if it's a hex literal, I don't think that'll be a SQL injection if it's a hex literal. The problem is that hexadecimal representation of arbitrary bytes is then directly inserted into the SQL query without proper SQL parameterization. Yeah, I think actually, I forget, I spent actually a lot of time refactoring this. I wrote this like a bunch of different ways, rewrote it a bunch of different ways because the database interactions were very slow. And this implementation ended up being the highest performance. I'll just leave that comment there. Now that I look at it again, I think this is fine. There's a couple things. Yeah, on the like I guess actually I have another thing here. Oh yeah, this here so I also have the block schema. And the block schema has a description of like the valid data format of any valid block type. So if you take the block data, so this method here will throw an exception if you try to put arbitrary data in, or so it won't even get down to here. So if you just put like, hello world or something, this will fail to serialize and it'll throw an exception, and it won't get to this point. Having said that, even for the SQL injection, if this is just returning hexadecimal digit characters, I don't think it's an issue. Although it could it could be obviously the server will have to handle arbitrary packets. I'm gonna have to rewrite a bunch of this if I make multiplayer support eventually anyway. Are you embracing vibe coding and prompt engineering like some other coding YouTubers? I haven't really even tried it yet. It's on my to-do list. This is my favorite security patch. Rebecca Woods says, "Hi, how's it going?" All right, that's that. Now let's see if I can get that test to work. Seem like a good guy. Can I tell you a joke? Don't worry, I'm almost done. All right. Why can't pigs drive? I don't know. Because they always hog up the road. That's a good joke. +1 for multiplayer. Yeah, it's on the to-do list, but it'll be a bit of work. My UI's bugged. Why are all my blocks wood? When do I see other stuff like rock? What's your Y level? You're probably way too high. If you use press the X key to go down, so you're probably like basically up in the sky. So if you press the X key, then your Y value should go down, and you'll see rocks. More random questions. How often do you use SID over awk? Depends what I'm doing. For simple replacements, I mean, there are different tools. X key did it. Excellent. What was the most valuable thing you learned at University of Waterloo other than coding? I don't know, it's difficult to put a... I would say almost one of the more valuable things of university is not It's not necessarily the stuff that you learn. It's like the opportunities you're put close to, and just like being put in an environment where you can meet people and develop connections and stuff. Learned time management and how to study lots and stuff. Yeah, probably like work habits and stuff. So the point of this change of test is when it emerges in data, if I don't supply a changed region, I would expect that it would not write in the data, but it looks like it might be doing that. Made it about ITK. How to send you the link. Okay. Oh, you really have a Pokemon terminal game. All right. I'll take a look at it if I remember. probably won't be on too much longer. As for our class project. Nice. It's amazing. Nice. Now, let's see if I can figure out why that merge function isn't working. Is that one of the print messages in the game? All right, let's see why. Why does this merge function merge in the regions? Huh. Oh, that's why. Of course. Nice, I get the test to pass. All right, I didn't accomplish a lot tonight. This is a very distracted stream. Are you on TikTok? Yeah, I have. If you go to my channel page, I think there's a link to my TikTok on there. Yeah, I've only been posting my shorts. Actually, my videos there get pretty much no views, so I don't really check TikTok very much. Anyway, I'll leave it there for tonight, and I guess we'll be back tomorrow for day 87. All right, talk to you later.